Hello and welcome back to Powers Towers Productions. Today I'm going to do a review of the Gruffalo River Ride Adventure, which was new for 2017 at Chessington World of Adventures. Yes, I can't quite believe that I've left it this long myself. It only occurred to me this weekend that I hadn't reviewed the Gruffalo River Ride Adventure. Now, this video isn't scripted. You're going to get my completely unthought out thoughts of the ride and the area. And this is also new footage that I actually shot a couple of weeks ago, back in May I think it was. Not for this video. I was thinking of doing another video on the Gruffalo, but I feel that maybe I need to spend a bit more time on that because this was very sort of last minute. I didn't plan to make this footage. But anyway, to start off, the area of Transylvania was rethemed to the Wild Woods to tie into the Gruffalo, and to be honest, not much has been done for the area. There's the Gruffalo Bites, the Gruffalo Shop, and there's the Wild Woods side, but it still very much feels like Transylvania. The only wooded stuff you can see really is in the main village area on the Gruffalo. Now these footprints here, they were actually new. They were added a couple of weeks after, and it was one of a very limited amount of changes the park made to the Gruffalo after its opening, showing how good of a ride it actually is, and I do tend to agree with that. Vampire, as ever, remains unchanged. It is still a staple of the Chessington lineup, and it really does hold its own. And as you can see, there have been leaves added to the buildings, which are actually also new. It was added in afterwards. Now, the station itself is also very well themed. You get a complete sense of immersion in the deep dark wood. There's wood themed wallpaper. There's leaves on the ceiling, and there's very limited light, enough to see, but also enough to create an atmosphere. And also there's little sort of not drawings, 2D pictures is the best way to put it, of the characters. There's Gruffalo, there's Snake, there's the Owl, there's the Mouse and the Fox. They're all in there. The station is very ambient, well themed, and as you can see now, the staff also have their own uniform, and I like that. I like it when staff have their own staff for a ride have their own uniform, because it just creates that extra sense of realism and immersiveness within the ride. Now, as we head on, we're going into the ride, and mostly the scenes weren't changed, so the sizing of each area where the scenes are hasn't changed much from when it was Bubbleworks, which I suppose makes sense. It's less work, but it all works very well. So obviously you start off, you're going down, and you hear a voice saying to you, "A mouse took a stroll through the deep dark woods," and it appears up on this book. It's projected. The ride relies quite heavily on projections and animatronics and lights to create an atmosphere. It also uses sound. Now, a lot of people smell. A lot of people say the smell is quite pungent and it's very hard to take. I think while it is a strong smell, it's very nice, and you can see the amount of care and attention that went into creating this ride. It really, you feel like you're part of the story. It's all very good. The only downside is, as you just saw there, I had to spin the camera right around to get a good shot of the Fox and Mouse, because you've still got the old boats from Bubbleworks, which obviously spin around. Now, there's lots of projections and lighting effects, and also the use of practical sort of sets too. It creates a very good theme. I suppose the word for it almost is that it's inclusive, I think is the best way to put it. It's really hard to describe, but like I said, you feel like you're in the story, and it's very cohesive. You know, as you go from one scene to the next, you feel like the story is being told to you in a more lifelike way. So it's very true to the book, having read the book myself. It's true to it, but at the same time, it's got its own sort of Chessington spin on it, if you get what I mean. Now, there were some changes to how the ride worked. For example, we're now going through where the camera used to be when it was Bubbleworks, and that obviously moved as part of the scene. And while the effects all work very well to create a story, the problem is if an effect breaks, it can be very, very damaging to the story almost, because you're relying on effects to tell the story. So I can't remember when I filmed this, but I remember going through the ride a couple of times, and there was an effect that was broken, and while it didn't detract from the story too much, because it was at the very, very end, it was obvious that something was missing, if you get what I mean. Now, the way it was presented was also quite well. I'll be honest. When I went on it, I'm thinking about it now. I can't actually remember if I left the sound on. I probably did actually. I don't know if you heard me when I filmed this, but I was going wow. Like the first time I went to Chessington after this opened, I went straight to the ride because I wanted to see what it was like, and I just went on, and all I could say was wow. If you've been following me through this entire journey, you'll know that I've had very negative views of the Gruffalo taking over Bubbleworks. Not because I don't like the Gruffalo, not because I thought it was going to be bad, but because Bubbleworks meant something to me. It had a real place in my heart, and while the Gruffalo can never replace the Bubbleworks in my heart, I know deep down that this was a good decision because it's even more popular than Bubbleworks was. It's a really good ride, and it's put life back into the ride because it looked very tired as Bubbleworks. But I personally, when I went through this the first time, I just went wow. I literally just went wow because I was amazed at how good it was, and I was very happy to see a couple of things stay, and I'm sure you'll see shortly, but I'm not going to ruin the surprise for those of you that don't know. Well, you probably know by now. But the ride feels the same but different. It has the same family-oriented atmosphere as Bubbleworks, but it's a more almost somber, almost melancholy kind of feel. It's very quiet, but also child-oriented. Whereas Bubbleworks was a family thing. It was loud and it was proud and it was happy and it was upbeat, and you really felt it. Whereas when you're in the station, for example, it's a really quiet bit of music. It's so quiet. And whereas in Bubbleworks you had the massive umpire music just going brr, brr. You know, I'm not gonna go and absolutely butcher the music because I love it so much. But you know, it was loud and it was proud, and you really felt Bubbleworks. Whereas this is a subtle sort of impact on you, and I've got carried away saying that, but the fountains were kept. Now, I actually spoke to the person who was in charge of the ride, and they said they kept it in to keep that extra wow of the ride, and I think I agree. While I will miss the beautiful colourful strobes that used to light up the fountains, I'm very happy to see those two remain. I never liked the middle one because the middle one, if it broke, it would literally go right down onto you, whereas these ones are less likely to hit, and it's easier to put my camera on. Now, as you just saw there, it's the little details in the Gruffalo that I absolutely love. It's just, it's brilliant. The little woodpecker there, the little details are what make this ride so good. But I suppose to wrap it up, having obviously reviewed Rise of the Demon and liked it quite a lot myself, I suppose I couldn't. Yeah, it's not broken. The effect's not broken. It was the Gruffalo Crumble picture that was broken one time I went through it. It's working now. But thinking about the Gruffalo River Ride Adventure as a whole, I think it's a very good ride. I think it's a very good addition. I think from a business point of view and a family point of view, it was the right decision. But the nostalgia boy in me just wants Bubbleworks back. I hope you've enjoyed this review. I hope you liked it. If you want to see live updates of me on Park, then you can follow me on Twitter, or you can follow me on Instagram at @ptp_hendo. The links are down below in the description. And for those of you, if you are wondering, I will be reviewing the Adventure Tree shortly. Hello, person who waved at my camera. I will be reviewing the Adventure Tree soon. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If there's anything you'd like to see from my reviews, do let me know. And also feel free to comment down below.